After Laila, also things that are by night. B'yayim nami lai. We should not be able to do it by day. So if the mitzvah is to cut the omer by night, so how do you say that that if you do it by day, it's kosher? Things that you're supposed to do by day, you can't do by night. Things by night you can do by day. We compared the two, and it should be exactly the same. Amar Rabbi leikash. Rabbi says that it's not a question. Why? Ha Rabbi v'ha Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon. When we say that it's a machlokes, that's a way of saying that it's not a question. It's not a contradiction. It's two different opinions. So Rabbi and Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon, they were friends, and they argue about this. The Tanya was taught in a brisa. Hoya oimed the makriv minchas oimer. If someone is offering, mama, she's offering the oimer, the kohen, v'nitmes becomes tamei. So it's already by day, becomes tamei. Im yesh acheres, if there's other grain. Rashi explains that even if it's still attached to the ground, this is it's necessary to say that for the pshat in the Gemara. So oimrim loy havi acheres tachteh. So go get the other grain. It's by day. I'm telling him to go cut it by day. V'im lav. But if there is no other grain, be smart and don't say anything. Well, how can you do that? Because we said it could be brought b'tumah. If you don't have any option, it could be brought b'tumah. So, divrei Rabbi. That's Rabbi's opinion. Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon Aimer. Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon says, ben kacha, Aimer loy heavy pekeach saik. Whether there is other grain or not, you tell him, be smart and don't say anything. Shekol ha'omer sheniktzah shleik mitzvasi pasal, because the omer that's not harvested correctly is pasal. What's not correctly means that if it's by day. So we see there's two opinions. The brisa that says, the Mishnah and Megillah that says that things that are by day need to be by day, by night needs to be by night. So that's Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon. You can't do the omer by day. And the one that says the brisa that we mentioned before, the Tana Rabbanan, that's bayayim kosher. That's Rabbi's opinion. Amar Rabba bar Chana Amar Rabbi Yochanan. It's very interesting that the Gemara has like styles, like what's trending. We had it earlier. We had Rabbi Barchana Amar Rabbi Yochanan saying that Reb Meir is Beshitas. Reb Shimon. We do it the same, and now it's the Brisa. Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon Beshitas Rabbi Kiva Rabbi Shalaviv Amra. Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon is going according to his father's teacher, Rabbi Akiva. Who's his father? Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon bar Yochai. Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon, his father is Reb Shimon, right? His teacher is Rabbi Akiva. Shimon bar Yochai is the student of Rabbi Akiva. The Tanan, as it says, Klal Amar Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva gave a rule. Kol malacha shef shalasei semi erev Shabbos ein adeichas Shabbos. Anything that you can do from erev Shabbos. Elchanan was sitting next to me yesterday. I was learning this by Mincha. So he says that's a mitzvah. This is a Mishnah in Shabbos. His father had him learn Mishnayos a lot. So he remembers. He says this is a Mishnah in Shabbos. It's about Mila. So anything that you can do from erev Shabbos is not deichas Shabbos. If you can do it erev Shabbos, okay. V'savalak Rabbi Yishmael, and he also holds like Rabbi Yishmael, the Meksir Saimer mitzvah, that cutting the Aimer is also a mitzvah. Okay. Ditnan, as it was taught in the Mishnah, Rabbi Yishmael Aimer Mach Harish Rishus. Afkatz Rishus. It says about this is about Shemitah, I believe, and it says that just like the harvesting, just like the plowing is referring to things that are voluntary, also harvesting is referring to things that are voluntary. Yotzik Tzirayim Mashim Mitzvah. However, the Omer you are allowed to harvest in the Shemitah. It's a mitzvah because that's a mitzvah. It's not referring to that. Okay, now if we would accept the opinion that if you harvest the Omer by day, not by night, it's kosher, amai dachi Shabbos. We said that anything that you can do before Shabbos, according to Rabbi Akiva, you have to do before Shabbos. So niktzrei me erev Shabbos, harvest it erev Shabbos. Elamida dachi Shabbos. The fact that it does push off Shabbos, shma mina niktzrei shleik mitzvasi pasal. It must mean that if you don't harvest it by night, then it's possible. That's why you're allowed to do it. So that's a way of putting together Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon with Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yishmael's opinion. Rabbi Shmuel says that it's a mitzvah. That's why it's Leicha Shabbos. Rabbi Akiva makes it clear that if you could have done it before, if it would even be b'diavad kosher before Shabbos, then you should have done it. Rabbi Elazar Bar Shimon says it's possible if you don't do it by night. The Gemara asks. So Rabbi said that it's kosher if you harvest it by day. Rabbi Lav Talmidi de Reb Shimonu. Rabbi is not a student of Reb Shimon. Rabbi also learned by Reb Shimon, just like Rabbi Elazar Bar Shimon. They were friends, and he didn't tell him what Rabbi Akiva, his teacher, said. Why is Rabbi arguing about this? Well, Tanya, Amar Rabbi says, "Kishayinu lameidin Torah etzel Reb Shimon b'Tekoa." When we were learning Torah by Reb Shimon in Tekoa, hinu malan le'shemen va'aluntis michatz legag migag lekarfef mikarfef lekarfef lekarfef acharad shana maginian lemayan shana reichsim bay. This is talking about on Shabbos. And he says, he's quoting a Tosefta in Erevin, that you can move from one place, you can carry over roofs and over enclosures to another enclosure until we reached a spring that we would wash in. What is this referring to? It's talking about washing on Shabbos, and it's talking about drying off a aluntis, which is some sort of cloth. There's a discussion there about using this cloth to put on oil. Yeah, it was. I don't know if it was a towel or if it was a cloth to apply the oil. Okay. So what we see from this is that Rebbe was a student of Reb Shimon. So why does Rebbe hold that you're allowed to bring you're allowed to harvest the Eimer by day? It should be forbidden, because if it's allowed to be done by day, then you should have done it Erev Shabbos.
But maybe it means on that same day and not the day before.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm. You see that he argues.
Right.
What's that?
He's asking that I understand that if you don't harvest it by night, you can harvest it by day, which means on the 16th. But who says that if the 16th is Shabbos, that you can harvest it from 2 days before? Maybe it needs to be on the 16th. I guess we're understanding that if it needs to be by night, or it could be anytime even before. Let me just see if they comment on that. Lamed Bais. Okay, let's leave it as a question. I seem to remember the Gemara is going to mention something about doing it in its proper time, and if Mayadai has to do with this. Okay. Okay, so the Gemara answers like this.
Is that a rule that you can't go against your rule?
No, that's also an interesting point.
Didn't we say several like I said with Chala?
Yeah.
Right, we're in the same page.
Right. Good question. It's funny because it takes the way you're putting it, that the Gemara makes this assumption that how could Rebbe say this? He learned by Reb Shimon.
Well, you would hope so. So you go to the ends of earth to try to figure that he's like Israel, but if you can't, you can't.
So you're saying the question is still good. The answer we may be able to resolve. So Savala Ki'idach to Reb Shimon. We're saying that he holds like a different Reb Shimon, the Tanya, a different opinion of Reb Shimon. Amar Reb Shimon, Bayurei, Kama chaviva mitzvah b'shaita. How important is a mitzvah in its time? Sherei hekte chalam ve'evarim ksherim kol halayla. You're allowed to offer the evarim and the fats by night from a sacrifice that was brought by day. However, let's say that day was Shabbos. So it sounds like it would be better to do it by night, because that way you don't have to burn it on Shabbos, right? No, burn it Mitzvah Shabbos, because it's kosher the whole night. However, they would burn it on Shabbos, even though it was kosher after Shabbos. Why would they do that? Because chaviva mitzvah b'shaita. So what he wants to answer is that he's allowed to
even b'derech Shabbos, things that are not necessary.
Even though it would have been mutter from Erev Shabbos, but you're allowed to do it on Shabbos because chaviva mitzvah b'shaita. So Rabbi holds that yes, it's kosher, but that doesn't mean that it can't be doicha Shabbos, because it's better to do it on Shabbos, and therefore that if it's better to do it on Shabbos, it's doicha Shabbos. The Gemara asks, what about for Rabbi Elazar Bar Shimon? Eily. He never heard what his father said, that chaviv mitzvah b'shaita. Elashani Hassam. Rabbi Elazar Bar Shimon would hold shrei dachsa shchitas Shabbos. Over there, it's much different. Over there, by a sacrifice, you already violated Shabbos. You already shechted. It's not a violation. You're supposed to do it on Shabbos. But now you have the fats. I'm sorry?
It overrides.
It overrides. So now you have the fats. I could wait till after Shabbos, or I can continue. Well, you say, look, Shabbos was already pushed off.
Yeah,
so just continue it.
And just because you started doing an Avera or whatever doesn't allow you to continue.
Yeah. The thing is, though, that it's not an Avera. So that's the pshat. It's not an Avera.
You're an exemption.
Say. This. I'm just thinking if it makes a difference if I say Hutcher or Dechuya.
It says Dachsa, Shchitas, Shabbos. It's still suspended.
Right.
Not
Again.
committed, it's suspended.
The way the Gemara is understanding it is that once the Shabbos has been pushed off for this,
Yeah.
so we say that you're allowed to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's
an
explained.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're allowed to finish it by the carbon. You're allowed to burn it.
Yeah.
However, according to by the K'tzir Sa'imer,
Right.
you never did anything that violated the Shabbos. This is your first violation, and you could do it by day. So why? It's a big difference. The Gemara says, "The Rabbi hachinami dachsa shchitas Shabbos." So why does Rabbi say that it's allowed? Ela kasava Rabbi K'tzir Sa'imer loydachya Shabbos. It's incredible. Rabbi holds that K'tzir Sa'imer is not Deicha Shabbos. You know what's so interesting? Let's see. V'loi. He doesn't hold that. V'hatanan. We have a Mishnah at the beginning of the Perek. The whole thing. V'chacham echad Shabbos v'echad chol mishalish hayabah. The Chachamim say, Rabbi Shmuel says that you bring 5 in the week and 3 in 5 on the week and 3 on Shabbos. Chachamim say you always bring 3 even on Shabbos. Gemara says the like Rabbi. That's not Rabbi. Rabbi doesn't hold of that. Echad Shabbos v'echad chol b'shalisha b'shalish kupis b'shalish mageles. That he would bring 3 people, 3 boxes, and 3 seats. The like Rabbi. It's not Rabbi's opinion. B'Shabbos Yom Lehem Shabbos Zu. On Shabbos you say, should I cut it on Shabbos? The like Rabbi. It's not Rabbi's opinion. Isn't this so amazing that we start the beginning of the parak, we don't mention anything. As you start to see the end of the parak, we get Rabbi's opinion. That this whole Mishnah, the whole beginning of the parak was all not like Rabbi. Okay.
Rabbi's opinion doesn't show up anywhere.
Right.
Doesn't show up anywhere.
Right. The only way that we would know Rebbe's opinion is from this brisa that says that mitzvah se bayom kasher, and that's going to tell me that. We have a problem though as we go on. Niksa bayom kasher, V'doiches HaShabbos. If you look at that phrase, it says that if you cut it by day, it's kosher. What did that tell me? That meant that I am allowed to, that I have to do it Erev Shabbos, that I can't do it, right? That's what I learned out from that. And then it says v'doiches Shabbos. Man shamat leidam niktzah b'yom kosher Rebbe. Ukatani doiches HaShabbos. It says that it pushes off Shabbos. And we just said that Rebbe holds that the Ktsira doesn't push off Shabbos. My love, Ktsira. It must be talking about pushes off Shabbos is the harvesting. This is Leila Akrava. You have to read that phrase differently. That Niktzah b'yom is kosher. And the Hakrava, the offering it in the temple, is pushes off Shabbos, but not the Ktsira. Aval Ktsira loy, but the harvesting doesn't push it off. But it was taught in a Bais, Rabbi Yomi, Vayedaber Moshe Mayadei Hashem. The pasuk says, this is in Parshas Emor. Moshe said the holidays of Hashem. Talmud Loimar. What is this pasuk coming to teach us? We only know that by the Karban Tamid and the Karban Pesach, which it says by them, Tishmur lahakavli b'mayadai, and Vayasu b'nei Yisrael es a pasach b'mayadai. It says b'mayadai by those in its time. B'mayadai v'afilu b'Shabbos, b'mayadai v'afilu b'tumah. That you're allowed to do it on Shabbos. The Tamid, the Karban Pesach is on Shabbos. Shar kabanas atzibur minayin. How do you know that you're allowed to bring other sacrifices? Talmud Laimar Eily tasu l'Hashem b'mayadeichem. Why don't we use that first pasuk? Vayedaber Moshe Mayadei Hashem. Okay. B'mayadechem. This pasuk Gimel this is in Bamidbar. This is in Parshas Pinchas. And the Aleph is in Vayikra. I'm asking, why do we need these two psukim? It started off saying Vayedaber Moshe Mayadei Hashem. Let's see what they say over here. Okay. K'dei lelamed. Okay. Minayin l'Rabbis oimer v'akarevimai shtei alechem v'akarevimai. How do you know that the oimer pushes off Shabbos, and together with what it's brought with it, and the shtei alechem, which is brought on Shavuos, and v'akarevimai, what's brought with it? Talmud Loimer vayedaber Moshe Mayadei Hashem. That's the first pasuk. Vayedaber Moshe Mayadei Hashem. Hakasav kava mayad l'kulam. The pasuk makes it all mayad. Means in its time. Lamai helchasa. Lamai, what is this for? Eily malak rava. If it's talking about offering it on the altar, shtei alechem b'nei akrav, no. Shtei alechem aren't brought on the altar; they're eaten. Ela pshita l'tchina. It must be talking about the grinding. The shtei alechem or chametz, where you have to grind it, varkada, the sifting, with the kavasei gabi aimer. It's the preparation of it. And so that if we're talking about shtei alechem, it's talking about the preparation, not the burning. So what's the preparation for the aimer? L'ktzira. V'kadachi es Shabbos. It says Mayadei Hashem, and we're talking about the preparations. It means that you can do the harvesting on Shabbos, and this is all Rebbe's opinion. The Gemara says loy. Oimer la krava v'shtei alechem la'afiyah. We divide it up. When it says that it pushes off Shabbos, it depends for which thing. The oimer is only the offering, but not the preparations, and the shtei alechem is for the preparations. Now, if we're saying this, then it would need to be that the baking of the shtei alechem is what's pushing off Shabbos. That must be what's sanctifying it. Ksav Rebbe Taner Makadosh. That the Taner is what sanctifies it. And v'yafi lamiyas malifsal alabelina. And if I would bake it yesterday, then it would become puzzle. Why? Because baking it is what sanctifies it. So therefore, I need to bake it on Shabbos. Otherwise, I would have said that you have to bake it before Shabbos. Rebbe holds that these things don't push off Shabbos. Does Rebbe hold that the oven is a vessel that sanctifies what's put into it? V'atanya kivsei atzeres ein mekachem salechem ela b'shchita. The lambs of Shavuos. How do the breads become sanctified? With the slaughtering of the lambs, not with the oven, not with baking it in the oven. Ketzad, how is this? Shachtan lishman. If the lambs are shechted with the right intention, v'zarak daman lishman kiddush alechem. If the blood is sprinkled as well, then the bread becomes sanctified. Shachtan shaloi lishman. If they're shechted not for the right intention, v'darak zaman shaloi lishman like kiddush alechem. If it was done wrong, then the bread isn't sanctified. Shachtan lishman v'zarak daman shaloi lishman. Then halechem kadosh ve'ina kadosh divrei Rabbi. The bread is sanctified, but it's not sanctified. We learned before this Gemara. What does this mean? The Gemara has from Machlekes Amaram what it means. Abaya says that you could redeem them, but you can't redeem them. Rabbi says that you could redeem them. Okay, whatever the case is. Rabbi Lazar Bar Shimon that no, it's only sanctified if you do every part of the sacrifice of the animal properly. Whatever the case is, we're seeing over here that it's not the oven that's sanctifying it. It's the shechita that's sanctifying. You could have baked it yesterday. Amar Rav Nachman Yitzchak hukvu v'lay hukvu ka'amar. Nachman Yitzchak says that really it's the baking it that sanctifies it. This that we said that the shechita is what affects its validity. That's only if I can use it for another sacrifice. Hukvu for these sheep, for these lambs. If the shechita is done properly, then these sanctified loaves are attached to these lambs. If the shechita isn't done properly, then it wasn't attached to those lambs. I could use it for another one. Okay. Hajjan Allah Rabbi Shmuel Bli Neder. I think were you here for the whole parak? Let's go further.
What's the final opinion? Rabbi holds you can or cannot?
Rabbi holds that you can't harvest on Shabbos. Okay, there's an interesting little thing at the introduction of this parak, is that if you notice, there's two Rashis here. And the comment at the beginning of this, the lower Rashi, if you look at the page, it says, from this parak of Eily Menachos until parak Shtei Alechem is come from the handwriting of Rabbi Tzal Ashkenazi, who was the author of the Shitim Kabetes, was the teacher of the Arizal in Egypt. And they said they found it on his Gemara. They found it in Yerushalayim on his Gemara. The Rashi that's right above this is not really Rashi. What is someone else? I don't know if the bottom one is Rashi either, but just from the things I just started using it today.
Are they similar? No.
Yeah, you would need to have an expert in those, like the linguistics.
The first Rashi is the same.
The first, no, they are similar comments. Like Rashbam and Rashi. Remember in Pesachim we had the Rashbam and Rashi. They say this. The Rashbam just elaborates more. Okay, we have other Masechtas where we don't have Rashi. They say like in the Darim, it's Rashi's daughters. They say it's Rashi's daughters that wrote it. The yeshivas don't learn it; they learn the Ran instead of the Rashi. The Eily Menachos Nikmatzos. The following Menachos are kmitzas done. V'shirayim l'kayanim. And the leftovers after the kmitza is the scoop of the three fingers, is eaten by the kayanim. Minchas hasoiles v'hamachvas, the one that's made from flour, and the machvas is the flat pan, v'hamacheshes is the deep pan, v'achales, the loaves or kiknis, the wafers, minchas of the kichavim, the mincha of a non-Jew that offers it, minchas nashim if a woman offers it, minchas aimer, minchas chayte, if it's a sin offering, where he doesn't have enough money to bring the real sacrifice, minchas kanayis, and if it's a site offering.
Basically everybody.
Reb Shimon Aimer. Reb Shimon says, Minchas Chayte shel Kayanim Nikmetzes. No, Kayanim is also Nikmetzes. We didn't mention Kayanim. However, the Kaimitz Karv Latzmei v'Shirayim Krevim Latzman. But the Kaimitz is brought on its own, and the Shirayim is burnt on its own. Why does the Tanakhama not say this? Because we have a rule, it says in the Torah, that any mincha of Kayanim is totally burnt. It's not eaten. So they say, why do you have to do kmitza? You're burning the whole thing. Kmitza is the part that's burnt. So if it's a kayanim mincha, so you burn the whole thing. Reb Shimon says, no, I know you burn the whole thing, but you do kmitza and you burn both. You burn them separately.
The other one is not burnt on the altar.
On the altar.
On the mizbeach. The other one's burnt off to the side. Where's it burnt?
No, both. I think both of them will be burnt on the mizbeach. I don't know. I think both of them are burnt. So Amar Rav Papa, you might remember this, Rav Papa. Kol heicha de Tanan. Anywhere where we have a list of menachos, Eser Tanan. We have a list of 10. Now Rashi before told us that there's two interpretations of what this means. Either each one is 10 chalis, or we have a list of 10. If you count it, Soilas, Machavas, Marcheshes, Chalis, Retikin, Oivde Kachavim, Nashim, Minchas Oivim, Minchas Chaitim, Minchas Kanais, that's 10. So the Gemara says, Ma'ika Mashmalan, what are you coming to tell me? La'afukim Reb Shimon. It's coming to exclude Reb Shimon's opinion. Damar Matzah, Mechza Chalis, Mechza Retikin, Yavi. That if someone brings a mincha that's baked in the oven, you have a choice. You can either bring loaves or you can bring wafers, crackers. Now, the Tanakama holds that you need to do one or the other, and Reb Shimon holds you can divide it in half. You can do 5 of each. But if you do 5 of each, then we're going to have two possibilities based on Rashi. You won't have 10 loaves of each. You'll have 5 and 5, or you don't have 10 types of menachos. You have 11. You have chalas alone, rekikin alone, and chalas and rekikin together is an 11th type. So it's not 10. So Rav Papa is saying we're excluding Reb Shimon's opinion from here that you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to divide it up. That's the Mishnah we quoted earlier, that we learned earlier. Samach Gimel, we learned that Mishnah. Now we say v'shreim lakayanim, and the leftovers go to the kayanim. Minalon. Where do we know that what's left over goes to the kayanim? That's why this point of that Rav Papa, anywhere where it says 10, there's 2 interpretations. Rashi says those 2 interpretations twice before, and in this Rashi down here he doesn't say it. That's why I'm wondering, is it okay? The Gemara now asks, where do we know that what's left over goes to the kayanim? Or what it really means is that it's kmitz is done. No, it means what's left over goes. The Gemara says, the ksiva ksiva. Wherever it says it, it's written. What do you mean? It says it in the Torah. Udalai ksiva. And if it's not written, ksiv ba b'zayis taras mincha akar v'yisa b'nei yaran. V'nei seres meni yochla aran ovanov. We have a pasuk that gives us like a general rule for all carbon minchas. It says, this is the law of the mincha. It says, what's left over goes to Aaron and his sons. So we have a pasuk that tells me, includes everything. The Gemara explains its question better. It says, Ba chitin laikami bailan. I'm not asking about the mincha that's brought from wheat. Kikami bailan ba sa'irim. I'm asking about the mincha that's brought from barley. Ba sa'irim nami. Well, you don't have to ask about that. Midin kmetzes. The fact that kmitza is done on it, shireh ala kayanim. So that what's left over goes to the kayanim if you do kmitza. And we have 2 sacrifices that are barley. We have the oimer, and we have the saita. And it says kmitza by both of them. The Gemara says, no, Ali b'derabbanan laikami bailan. I understand according to the rabbis that automatically kmitza means that what's left over is eaten. Ki kami bailan. What is our question? Ali b'derab Shimon. Our question is according to Reb Shimon. The Amar, he says, Ika mincha de mikmetza v'lay mesachla. There's such a thing as a mincha that kmitza is done, but the kainim don't eat it. The Tanan, as is learned in our Mishnah, Reb Shimon mincha schayte shal kainim nikmetzes, that the mincha schayte, a sin offering of kainim, is kmitza is done, and a kaimitz karav batzman, v'asharayim kreven batzman, and the shirayim are brought on their own. So what's going to be with the barley ones? That's not included in that pasuk. Amar Chizkiya. So on that minalan, on that question, Amar Chizkiya explains the Amar Kra. It says any mincha that's mixed with oil or that it's dry, it goes to the sons of Aaron. Now, we don't need that pasuk because we know that what's left over goes to them. We had that pasuk before. So we don't need it for the wheat sacrifices, the wheat offerings. So Taneu leblula shel Sayrim. We have a thing Imena Inyan. So Taneu the Inyan Acher. If it's not, we don't need it for this. So apply it to something else, even though that's not clearly written. So we're going to apply this verse to the barley. The Imena In Lachareva. If we don't need this verse for the dry mincha shel chitin Taneu In Lachareva shel Sayrim, you can apply it to the dry offering of barley, which is the Saita offering. Okay, we have to stop here. The next Gemara is a long piece. So.
Cool.